So how we do this is, in Principles of Biology 1, one of the first labs we did was to test for antibiotic resistance in bacteria. This past fall, hundreds of students each collected 3 samples of bacteria. These samples were collected by using sterile swabs, which were then transferred onto agar plates and grown for a period of time. These bacteria samples were then put through a series of polymerase chain reactions, otherwise known as PCR. PCR takes a piece of DNA and makes many copies of it. Once amplified enough, students then analyze DNA strands. The location of each sample will then be marked by a pin in Google Maps. All latitudes and longitudes will then be converted into a spreadsheet because in order for us to map all of the data collectively, they need to be in spreadsheet format. In the middle picture, you are able to see the sterile swabs students use to collect bacteria, and this is so it doesn't get contaminated before you put it onto the agar plate. In this picture, you're able to see the bacteria after it's grown for a period of time. This is an example of the Google form that students fill out to document where they collected their data from. Here is listed all of a sampling of all the buildings on Ithaca College's campus, Campus Center, the Alumni Hall, Bogart Hall, Clark Hall. This is a picture of the spreadsheet used by the Path and Map Research Project, which shows the sample ID number, the environment it was collected from, wood, plastic, metal, the day it was collected, and latitudes and longitudes. This is the map produced by the collective material. The map here was created by research student Kathy Hilden, who used the PCR technique I mentioned previously. While this map shows us where antibiotic-resistant bacteria appears on our campus, it doesn't show us much else. The red dots represent where antibiotic-resistance bacteria was found on our campus, and then the blue dots are where bacteria was collected and grown, but there was no antibiotic resistance there. On this picture, I would like to create a map that allows students to see the same type of material we see in this program here. This program was created by the Path and Map Research Project, and here they collected samples from subway tunnels in New York City. In the picture, you can see the lines, which are the subway tunnels, and then if you click at it's an interactive map, so if you go to their website, you can pick here if you want to see where the data points were collected, and then it appears on the map where the specific data points were collected. This is what I'd like to do for Ithaca College. So then you're also able to select what type of bacteria is collected and how it's analyzed, and then the specific resistance of each bacteria. And it's put in heat map form so you can see the concentration of bacteria. The project found that bacteria was more antibiotic resistant when it was closer to health centers, and then as you moved away radially from health centers and hospitals, the amount of resistant bacteria decreased as you moved away. And this was because when you're at a hospital, there's many people who consume antibiotics, and so the bacteria there is more likely to be resistant to it because it's able to evolve and become resistant. Ithaca College's map will also grow with the students. So as students progress through their science classes, freshmen are just collect the samples, they use PCR, they analyze the data, and initially establish if it's resistant to antibiotics or not. Sophomores will then, they do 16S genome sequencing, which focuses on ribosomal DNA, or RNA, and this is able to classify bacteria taxonomically, so different types of bacteria, not based on resistance, just based on what type of bacteria it is. Juniors and seniors focus on microbiology, and they focus on base pairings of the bacteria, and then they're able to classify this. And then this will also be able to appear on the map. So if you click on a specific data point on the map, then this information that you have found yourself will come up along with that. And so by the time students graduate, there'll be this entire map collected that will look similar to the map that was made in the Path and Map Research Project, and will have much more information. We'll be able to draw conclusions from the trends that we find from this map about where we'll find antibiotic-resistant bacteria on Ithaca College's campus, whether it's in places like Campus Center, where a lot of people are touching forks and trays and tables, or if it's specifically around Cameron Health Center and the areas surrounding that, like CNS, or students in different schools, if they only interact with each other, how that will affect antibiotic resistance. research student Kaki Hilting for letting me come into his lab and ask him questions and providing his findings with me. Zeke Allen for being here with me today, and the Biology 121 students who collect the data. Thank you.
So do you think that Ithaca College, because the community is a transient community, maybe compared to the one at Weil, do you think because of that there might be a difference in where you would see, or if you would see a concentration of antibiotic resistance on our campus, say around a health center?
I think that's true. Personally, I know that Hammond Health Center gives out lots of antibiotics, and then students who all live together, East Tower has so many students, that you would find large concentrations there. What would be interesting was if students who live together, like how that takes into factor where they go to school, because I know I only go between Williams and CNS, so I don't interact with many people in the music school or Gillingham or the health sciences building, so if like our interaction at all affects how it's antibiotics. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about how close you are to doing the heat map for the college?
So I am a freshman and I don't actually know how to code yet, but getting the layout and like what the goals are for this project is what's happening right now, and then next semester when I can do more things with the actual program, then it'll start to go forward. Yeah.
What bacteria do you want to focus on, or like on campus?
No specific type other than resistance. So when students swab, they don't know what kind of bacteria they're swabbing for. You just like swab a desk, or like my friend Stefan swabbed the other side of the toilet. So you don't know what you're gonna find there.